uh, for a period of time, because you know how like women, I feel like a lot of women see a man as not his purpose. Potential. Yes, you meet someone to see the potential. You don't meet someone to be like, oh, I see you. What am I gonna like this second?
But you're sorry.
Okay,
you're just
I'm
discern.
back.
What my point is when you have a conversation with this potential future, your man, you have to ask questions that discern the information you need to know. If you don't know what the man's goals are from early on, why are you here? If you don't know if the man wants a family, why are you here? If you don't understand his family dynamic, why are you here? Do you get me? What relationships he already has established will show you a lot about the type of man he is.
Sorry about that, guys. I think we're back.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, and with that information, you can make a decision.
All right. Sorry about that. It looks like I'm still new at this going live business. I set up my hotkeys a little bit wrong, and I pressed the hotkey that kind of shuts down everything, which isn't the best. But hey, we're back now. So let us see. So where was I? Yes. So, red pill is something that really, interests me, and blue pill as well. I know I've been watching, actually, I'll tell you the past a little bit. So I started off watching, Fresh and Fit, and it affected me in a negative way without realizing what it did to me, I guess. Big up the chat. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. Yes, so I started watching Fresh and Fit a long time ago, and the message kind of made sense to me back then when I was watching it. But as time went on, the messaging I realized my viewpoints on women, my viewpoints on, courtship, monogamy was shifting negatively. So I'm like, okay, I gotta change it up, because I guess whatever we watch sadly affects us. It's the fact of life. It's the reality of life. So I think today what would be interesting is to watch some Fresh and Fit clips, and to see in terms of what their views are. So let's go just to see what's this one about, and let me know, guys, in the chat.
Y'all on YouTube, and I think we got another maybe 10 or so on Rumble. So shout out to y'all. All right, so we're gonna play this this voice recording, right? Go ahead.
Let's see. So what am I watching? Let me just. Okay, so Fresh and Fit react to Andrew Tate leaked voice audios. Okay, let's see.
Like that.
Can you even see my screen, guys?
I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet. Sometimes you forget exactly how lucky you were to get fucked by me.
Oh, would you rather? Okay, that's a that's a very interesting start. I am one of the most dangerous men, as Andrew Tate says. Well, let's see, a bit more about what he's saying. Very vulgar language, but hey, he didn't get this far by being nice.
Rather me pin you down and make you do things you didn't like, or would you rather fuck? You didn't like that I was thinking I can do whatever I want to. That's what it is. I'm the smartest person on this fucking planet. Oh,
you know what? I think about Andrew Tate in terms of, I've seen some of the stuff he's, made and done video-wise, and it's impressive to get the views he gets. But this type of language, my goodness. It's I know this is the red pill alpha mentality, but this is the type of rhetoric, especially in the UK where I am right now, that will get you in hot water. And I know he got arrested in Romania, and he was bragging about the how weak Romania was in terms of their legal system, and I think Romanian authorities have said enough is enough. We're gonna use Mr. Tate as not a scapegoat, but as a an example to say that actually on the world stage we can't be bought. So this type of language is evidence, I guess, in this court case right now. But let's continue.
You seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't fucking pass out? Chill the fuck out. Jesus Christ. I thought you were cool. What's wrong with you?
Oh, goodness. You know what? It gets worse and worse and worse. Oh, you know what? Let's go back a little bit, just to start. I know I'm supposed to react to these guys, but Andrew Tate, my goodness, it's just
why?
The language.
I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet. Sometimes
Most
you forget
dangerous men.
exactly how lucky you were to get fucked by me. Would you rather me pin you down and make you do things you didn't like, or would you rather fuck? You didn't like that I was thinking I can do whatever I want to.
Wow.
That's what it is. I'm the smartest person on this fucking planet. Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't fucking pass out? Chill the fuck out. Jesus Christ.
You know, I have to ask, like, what possesses a man to, I guess, to do these things, but also, I guess, to speak this way to another human being? I have questions in terms of that mental element. You know, I think when somebody leans too much on one side, like to the extreme of masculinity, there's something definitely wrong, mentally especially, to speak that way. Yes, I know to get to that, higher echelon of men, it's important to exude confidence. But this language, that's strangled and you didn't pass out. It's very much, it's heavy. And I can see why this is gonna get me more trouble.
I thought you were cool. What's wrong with you?
Okay, let me react to this.
Okay.
Am I a bad person?
Now, I also want to go ahead and play the stupid post from Impact on Instagram. All right. So this plays as well. They play this thing. So Impact also doubles on, right, and goes, swipe to hear voice memo that a survivor received from Andrew Tate.
A survivor?
Yeah,
Come on, bro.
Yeah, they refer to it as reviver. So go ahead, Chris, unmute it and go back to the beginning of the thing.
Out.
Survivor. Okay, so I guess survivor could be somebody has come out to say that they have been abused by Mr. Tate, or graped. I don't say the R word because it's YouTube and you get demonetized. But I guess when someone's been through that, they're called a survivor. Okay, I guess these guys wouldn't think that way.
Jesus Christ.
Go back. Oh no, all the way back, Chris, all the way. Because I want to show them everything. So Impact posts, they go, Andrew Tate sent these texts and voice memos to a woman who accused him of graphic descriptions of grape, violence, abuse, right? So they're like,
Yeah,
right. And then they go, Andrew Tate is currently detained in Romania on suspicion of human trafficking. However, before becoming famous, he was arrested twice on suspicion of grape and assault in the UK in 2015. The Crown Prosecution Service, CPS, decided not to charge him with any crimes because there was no realistic prospect of a conviction. I wonder why.
Exactly.
So it goes here. Our third woman has now come forward.
I think I'll tell you why. The CPS is very particular. Just because something has been denied by the CPS doesn't mean that it didn't happen. The Crown Prosecution, I think it's service, only ever choose to move forward when they can almost guarantee that the person is guilty and they have enough evidence to the point where there is no ambiguity to the fact. Something like grape often means that the CPS will not move forward with it, because it's unless there's been a grape kit put in place to the person, and especially when somebody reports grape at a much later point, it's very hard for the CPS services, even if it's more than one or two people coming forward, to then prosecute somebody, because the CPS only puts forward cases that they know they're gonna win, really. So That's why you don't understand, Mr. Fresh and Fit, the UK system here, the legal system. Maybe you do. I don't know.
To accuse Tate of rape. The survivor, referred to as Amelia, air quotes, to protect her identity, had been dating Tate for just 2 or 3 weeks before the rape took place in 2013. Vice has obtained and released WhatsApp messages and voice memos that Tate sent her, and then they go, the next 2 slides contain sexually aggressive language, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So here's the text messages, right? And as you guys can see, they only show his messages. They don't show the girl's messages.
I wonder why.
Those aren't even real messages either, right? That's a graphic created. That's a graphic.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's
you
not
can create
actual messages. These are recreated.
You can look, man. You can create fake messages like this. You absolutely can. There are apps, there are websites. It's ridiculous.
So my thing is this. Let's say that these are real messages. Okay. Let's say that this is actually from WhatsApp, right? Then go ahead and you guys can see here. It goes, and I love graping you and watching you let me. While still interesting how it says, and watching you let me while still debating if it's a good idea or not.
This is ridiculous.
You were my whore when I had my hands on you. Monsters are monsters.
Wow.
When you're under my control, I do whatever I please. And then let's move to the next one.
Bro, doesn't look good.
This is ridiculous.
And
yeah,
then,
you can actually.
I'm kidding. The voice memo from before, right? Okay. And then that we just listened to. And then Amelia shared.
I'm not gonna defend anybody. But it's important to understand both aspects, and you know what, like especially from something that's so far back, it's very easy to take texts out of context, especially when we only have a small snippet of it. Okay, so here he's saying he's messaging a woman saying it was nice graping you. If he actually took part in a crime, would he have sent that message? Unless he's very bold. I don't know. Unless he's very bold, who knows? But I guess my assumption is 2013, a long time ago, that kind of message probably meant there was consent in there, potentially, for him to send that message. And there's no replies, but I don't know. I think logically, if someone is sending a message saying, it was nice graping you, which is very strong language and wrong, it probably means that there was some level of acceptance of what can be discussed, some sort of play in that space that was acceptable. But I guess maybe the other party or the female didn't feel that way. I'm just making assumptions here, but let's continue.
The story after 2 other women came forward with their own accusations against Tate.
Okay.
I felt stronger, she said. I felt like, okay, I'm not alone now. I've got 2 other girls. You can read Amelia's full story here. Oh, of course she did an interview.
Oh my God.
Right? And then this interview contains explicit descriptions of sexual violence, right? And then let's go. And then it goes, intimate partners violence account for 15% of all violent crime in the United States. Then they put the hotlines and then move on to the next one. And then they give the sources. And is there anything else?
Makes sense.
Okay. So the thing, and I'll turn it to the panel after this. The thing that stuck out to me.
Okay, before they speak, I think Andrew Tate was playing a very dangerous game. Even if the rules of engagement were decided upon already, if you do such a thing for so long and speak, even if there's an acceptance of certain words like grape and, that's been accepted already, if you do it for like 10 years, 12 years, eventually out of the hundreds of people you were playing with in that time, 4 or 5 or 6 will look back and be like, okay, I've now changed as a person, but looking back at it, I wouldn't do that again. And actually, that was so vulgar, it must be grape. And I guess that's what's happening. It probably was, maybe it wasn't, I don't know, I wasn't there. But I guess Mr. Tate kind of like, this was inevitable. You can't play, I guess, with that type of rhetoric for so long and not expect people to rally together, especially if it's not a one case basis, if it's like a generic basis. So this was inevitable, as Thanos would say.
They don't show her messages. Yeah. They only show his messages.
Right.
And me using a little bit of common sense here, if this guy is actually doing this to you, right? Mm-hmm. You have his number. Mm-hmm. Clearly you guys are going back and forth, which is why he's sending those messages. Yeah. I need fucking context. You can't release only what he says and not release what she says. Here's the other thing too that I want to make very
interesting.
I'm just gonna say it. Women like to be dominated in the bedroom.
That's right.
Okay, guys?
That's right.
Ta-da! I know a lot of these fucking weird
Breaking
liberals,
news.
etc., these pussies, like they think women are sugar and spice and everything nice, and they don't like to get their hair pulled and choked and dominated in the bedroom. They fucking do.
Perhaps he has a. You need to see my face. There we go. Is it better now? Perhaps he has a point in the wider picture, but what I said before still stands. When you go to the extremes for such a long time, eventually people will either misunderstand or will look back and say, actually, with my current knowledge, this was grape. So regardless of what women want or what was agreed upon, it's a slippery slope, Let me give you some advice. Don't play. Just, always err on the side of caution and don't play with fire, especially with rhetoric such as this. And red pill might tell you, women like this. Okay, but when you're going to prison, they won't come to protect you or save you. But let's continue.
50 Shades of Grey was a popular book for a reason. A lot of women, guys, I'm gonna fucking say it, fantasize about getting raped by a guy that they're attracted to. Girls have fantasies about this shit. Yep. There's a guy that John knows, which you can go into detail about this, John, that literally gets paid to break into a girl's house and recreate the fantasy of kidnapping them. He makes them sign a fucking waiver and all this shit, but there are women that like this. And the other thing I want to say too, you want to know how I know that there's women that like this? A video surfaced of Andrew slapping a girl in the bedroom, right? And everyone's like, oh my God, he beats women. The girl came out 2 times and said, yo, me and Andrew consent to this, or I consented to this, I like it, it turns me on, etc. So what this
consent can be retracted, and I guess this is one of those tricky ones. I'm just thinking about it. Consent can be retracted, and especially when you're dealing with people who've changed, grown, adapted, and matured and looked back in regret. They won't look back in terms of like, yes, I did consent. Some will look back and say, yes, I did consent, but because I didn't like what happened, I would like it on the record in a way. There is no easy answer to this, is there?
This tells me is that the women that Andrew deals with, a lot of them probably like aggressive sex.
Of course.
Okay?
Yeah.
This girl probably likes aggressive sex.
This is very vulgar
language. He's not going to be sending you voice
Sorry,
notes like
guys.
that and text messages like that if you are not interested. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're withholding her messages and not showing the full context tells me she likes the shit, but she wants to come forward now and say, well, I felt pressure to it. And this is the problem, too. This is the hard talk that we got to have in America and the Western world. Regret is not rape. I'm going to say it one more time for y'all. Regret is not fucking rape. You cannot sit there and consent and then come back and say, oh my God, I felt bad about that. I'm going to withdraw consent. He actually raped me. Take some fucking accountability. If you have...
Regret is not grape. True. But in this instance, legally you are right. But when it's not clear cut, and when people on the outside looking in can get confused based upon the way it was handled, be it like Mr. Tate being very explicit and very energetic in terms of how he expressed himself, somebody with regret would still want to express how they're feeling, especially when something as public as his arrest is coming out. Oftentimes with celebrities, when they get arrested or something happens, then everybody comes out. So yes, that is true, but this won't really lead to much except destroying someone's reputation. So this probably won't go to a place where he gets, given the charges of raping these women. That probably won't happen. But what will happen is that the image in people's mindsets will be like, okay, stay away from this person. And that's probably the reason why they're coming forward. They know they probably won't win the case, the women coming forward. They should come forward, if they feel that, this has happened to them, they should. But I think probably the aim of it is more of the fact of to kind of damage the character of Mr. Tate. Is that a good reason or a bad reason? But
sex with someone and you regret it later, that's your fucking fault. Okay? Women are equal. Okay? Women are liberated. Women are free. Yes. Freedom comes with what? Responsibility.
I want to say something about that because
Please,
I think that, like, obviously rape is a serious problem, right? Okay. It's not gone away. But at the same time, it's pretty common to the average person right now that that word is liberally being used.
Yeah.
And it's really taking away the seriousness of that word because it's getting used so much, right? And it's taking away from women who have actually been raped. Right? It's kind of like now, like if you don't agree with something, like they immediately call you a racist, right? And that's kind of like taken away from the seriousness of like being called racist.
I'm really surprised how much I'm not disagreeing with these guys so far on this points. I don't actually know how far I lean towards red and blue pill. So far I just watch what entertains me, and so far with this, I'm not agreeing with what they're saying, but it's making sense. Especially Mr. Blue Suit, red tie guy.
Racist, like everybody's a racist nowadays, like because everybody is just using that word so liberally. And I just think like really this whole situation, it's just so slimy. Like what Vice is doing, they're really living up to that filthy media production company that they own. And it's 44% owned by George Soros.
Oh shit!
Are you serious?
Yeah, the Soros Fund, 44% owner in Vice Media.
Okay.
Holy fuck, dude.
So,
well, that explains a lot.
Yeah, like what would be a conspiracy theorist or not, whatever the case may be. But
I think I'll stop it here actually. Let's see anything else.
The world.
It's just these guys talking, giving their opinions.
Shop. Yeah.
Okay.
Only on the sounds.
Yeah, I guess when somebody such as Andrew Tate goes to prison, it allows reporters and people who've been in that space to, I guess, release information that will get views, get clicks, and sometimes we know that it probably won't lead to something that will go to court, but it might lead to in the public clicking the report or whatever, or having a different view of Andrew. So yeah, interesting, fresh and fit. So far from what I've seen, ain't that bad. Okay, ain't that bad. Okay, I need some comments. What do you want me to watch next? Oh, I can see myself here. Let's talk with SolidMind. All right. I need some suggestions in the comments. What do you want me to react to? This is your chance. Let me see. Well, if you don't mind, perhaps I would watch something that I like to watch, Is it MKBHD? Yeah. Marquez Brownlee. He released a video recently and I haven't had a chance to see it. So let's see. Okay.
This brand new smartphone from 2023 has a 6.5-inch 90 hertz display with a hole punch cutout.
Let me refresh it. So yeah, this is Marquez Brownlee's video of a 169-pound phone. Let's see. Okay.
This brand new smartphone from 2023 has a 6.5-inch 90 hertz display with a hole punch cutout, a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, triple cameras, a micro SD card slot for expandable storage, a headphone jack, and water resistance for $169. Nice. But what's the catch? There's got to be a catch, right? So look.
for that price, $169, what can you buy in the market for $169? Not a lot, really. But
look, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Good phones are getting cheap.
Cheap phones are getting
and
good.
Cheap phones are getting good. And this video is going to focus on the second part of that, which is the cheap phones that are getting so good. Because this phone hit my inbox recently. It's called the Moto G Play for 2023. And if you've been paying attention to what Motorola's been doing recently, they've been making a lot of really good budget phones in the background for the past couple of years. I just wanted to know, personally, from using it myself, how do you end up at a phone that's...
You know what? Maybe something else. You know, this is more of like, you know, watch it when you're relaxing kind of video. We are tired too. Let me see. Shark Tank. Mr. Beast. Hacksmith makes sense. Ooh. Let's watch a video on Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump, the old president. Let's go. The power of
Rich
debt.
Dad Poor Dad, I came out in 1997. I said your house is not an asset. It drove people nuts. It just went crazy on me because that's a common belief.
I've read this book.
But when you can't make your house payments, you find out is the biggest liability you got. And many of this turned out to be very.
He's right. Your house is not an asset; it's a liability until you've paid off your house. So, yeah, nothing new there.
Much more correct than you even thought.
Right.
When you look at what's happened to home prices.
Right. And Donald and I love real estate. I love real estate. I think it's the best thing going, better than sliced bread. But if you're not smart with it, it's like a loaded gun. You know, you can protect yourself or you can kill yourself with it.
You know, either Robert Kiyosaki has lost the plot, or I am not understanding his current business model. I'm saying this because a few years ago I went to a Rich Dad Poor Dad, you know, Robert Kiyosaki event hosted by the same company, to learn about how to, you know, buy houses, sell houses. Let me show you my face. So I went there, story time. This is now in Southampton, by the seaside, by the ports. It's a beautiful area. So I went in there, sat down, room full of people, and I'm expecting Kiyosaki to come out. The advertising said Robert Kiyosaki is coming. So I'm like, cool, I'm there. Then some random donor comes in, does all this sales pitch about, you know, buying a house, this and that, and how we can help you in our program, our services. And his main selling thing was that your job is to buy a house to rent it out, or to buy either a service to accommodation house, or to buy a house that can be sold and rented by council members, so people who like need council housing basically for about 25 years. Low maybe low income coming in, but it's for 25 years guaranteed, not gonna change. This message, which I was taught about, I didn't agree with, so I walked out. But in his educational talks, he's talking about, no, you gotta, your house is a liability, you need to, basically pay off your house. But then he changed his rhetoric to debt is important. So I'm a bit confused by his messaging. So let's continue.
So real estate is, to me, the best vehicle, but you've got to be smart with it because we're using debt.
Yes.
And debt is a two-edged sword out there. So you use debt, I use debt, but the more debt you use, actually you have to be smarter. So you can use debt to get richer.
Yes, you can.
Also use debt to wipe you out. So that's why, I continue on saying we need financial education. To just say to somebody, get out of debt, well, that's not accurate. You use debt, don't you?
Debt is a great thing, and to be big and to be very successful, debt is a very useful weapon. But
yes, debt is a very useful weapon. If you ask these people who use debt at a high level, they have been bankrupt multiple times. So yes, it's a good weapon, and eventually you come out of it and you'll be successful, and that's 1 in a million. So yes, feel free to use debt if you want to. To get a mortgage, yeah, get a mortgage, that's fine. But most people who use debt, not in a mortgage sense, but more in like a, house, car payment and credit card stuff for clothes and trips, yeah, they don't win. You don't win.
But you have to be very careful.
That's correct. So the other thing with when people say live below your means.
Yes.
You don't like to live below your means, do you?
No.
And I think when you say to somebody live below your means, you wipe their spirit out. It's like saying somebody, if you want to lose weight, go on a starvation diet. It doesn't make you healthier to starve yourself. So I would rather get financially educated. That's why
kind of does,
your
but anyway.
I want to. This is my greatest asset. I want to feed my brain so that I can expand my means without getting into excessive debt or where I start to lose. Because debt, like I say, is a two-edged sword.
Okay,
two-edged sword. To live below your means is almost inhumane. I never felt it.
You have to live below your means. Are you suggesting that somebody should live above their means? Because that's the opposite of it. The opposite of living below your means is living above your means, and that would mean get debt. You just said it's a two-edged sword, so why not err on the side of caution? Am I missing something? Should you just live above your means? I know what you're saying, Mr. Kiyosaki, that you have to have a goal so that you have a lifestyle that is maybe higher than it was, but then it drives you to aim higher in terms of making income. So, live above your means so that life is worth living. But for the majority of people, discipline isn't there. So, and also making that income isn't there. So I don't know.
Good doing it. I wanted to strive to do better every day. I want to do better every day.
Okay.
I liked a good life. Like I tell the story of taxiing underneath your jet. I was in my jet, but it was a little Learjet. I looked up and there's a 727.
Look at the rich bragging. But anyway, it's interesting.
Holy man. It's big boys and their toys, but nonetheless it inspired me. I said, okay, I'm in a Learjet now. It's time to step up. And it doesn't mean the jet will make me happier. What makes me happier is the wanting to get better, to get smarter.
Yeah, but when you're making millions a year, living within your means is being able to afford these big things like jets. I'm losing the plot here. These guys are multimillionaires, so they're hypocrites in a way. Because if you're making £50 million a year for some reason, that's a lot of money, and you're spending £30 million on something, that's still within your means. Your means is what you have. So if you have a lot of money and you spend a lot of money, you are living within your means. So this idea of don't live within your means, you guys are living within your means because you guys are buying stuff with the money you have, either by offsetting taxes so you can lower your tax bill, but still it's within your means. Maybe I'm missing something.
To do better.
Well, I have a friend who was not successful at all.
Okay.
But was really up and coming. And he had a thing. He would only fly first class. I'm not saying do this because for somebody it won't work, but he needed that mentally.
Right.
He wanted to fly first class because mentally he wanted to think he was the best. And that's it. And even though he didn't have much money at the time, this is years ago, he would always fly. I used to criticize him, but it put him in a good state of mind, and he became a very, very successful guy. Very successful. And
do you think he was successful because he went to first class? No. There is an element of fake it till you make it, which does work a lot. There is also imposter syndrome when you do make it. But I would recommend not doing that. Don't spend beyond your means as a motivation to get there. Most people will not come out of it, sadly. But let's continue.
I've always remembered that. He would never fly coach. He would always fly first class, even though he didn't have the means to fly. So, look, it's complicated, but whatever it takes.
Whatever makes you feel better about yourself, stronger, more confident, to want to do better. And I think really that's the issue. I think we're at the stage of our lives right now. To ask for more is not really it, but to do better, to feel better about ourselves is still important.
Feel better. Feel. Your feelings don't matter. Only results matter in this day and age. They're important, but they don't matter because everybody feels like they should be successful. Everybody feels like they're smart. Everybody feels like if I get a credit card, if I use debt, if I do this, if I do that, I can do it just like Kiyosaki and Trump. If everybody could do it, it would become the norm. So the reason why these guys are where they are is not everybody can do it. So yes, you can follow their rules. And I think you should if you're trying to get to where they are. But just understand that success is luck meets opportunity meets practice and preparation. Yeah. Luck meets opportunity, meets practice and preparation. So you can prepare and practice and, if the timing isn't right, you will still fail. You would get a mortgage and it falls through. So these guys have had a few things come together over time, that consistency. But they will tell you that many people around them have failed. They're the ones who got lucky.
So that's why I don't like saying live below your means and scrimp and all that, because, shopping is fun. Nice houses are fun.
At the same time, you have to be very careful.
Yes, but you have to be responsible about it.
Correct.
Like, when you invited us up to your little duplex,
responsible,
whatever they call it. We walked up there, and I've never seen a two-story, entire floor home in New York City, and my wife came.
Like they say, be responsible, spend more, but be responsible. That's not how people's brains work. If you tell them spend more and be responsible, what's responsible? Is buying a BMW X5 when you make 20 grand responsible? Well, you gotta live above your means. Is going in so much debt that your payments are close to your monthly salary, is that responsible? You just saying be responsible like it's a nice little word to say. It's people sadly are not that smart in general, especially when you're an authority. You need to be careful how you say it. Anyway, let's continue with this.
Kim says, I didn't really want to live in a condo, but she says, Mr. Trump's house will do. And it is spectacular. You know what I mean? And it's
spectacular.
I don't need that, right?
Yes,
I don't need that. If I had one nice bedroom with a good television set and a nice bed, and you don't really need that. But it was in a building I built, and it was there for the taking, so I figured I might as well do it. And what have I done? Instead of selling the equivalent of 12 or 13 units, I kept them. And by keeping them, I have them. I didn't sell them, and that's okay. And it's become, a very valuable place. So I didn't
What's the
need
point
that.
of this video again?
Now.
Trump and Kiyosaki financial education.
And that's my message: is achieve it.
For education.
And then you can take it or leave it. But if you don't achieve it, then it's always something away from you. So again, that's why I'd be redundant about this. Living below your means, I don't think that makes your spirit happy. It kills you.
It makes you, you know, a part of me is getting frustrated with this dangerous rhetoric. Yes, you should live below your means and have enjoyment within that. It's not good for your spirit, you're saying. Just look at his face. Look at his face. Look at, like, yes, it's not good for your spirit to live below your means. Yes, it is. It's good for your spirit because you are not understanding the fact of peace. There's a you can't put a price on peace. All right, it's better for you to be in a mindset where maybe you are below your means and you're happy. Or would you rather be, you know, spending above your means and just chasing and just losing the plot? Yes, you might get more successful that way, but most people won't. What message works for most people? Live below your means and have some enjoyment within that. These guys, they won't tell you this. They live below their means. They are making a 200, 300,000, 50 million, whatever. And they're spending a lot of money. In your eyes, they are living above their means because they make more than you. In their eyes, they are like, I make so much money. I am actually living below my means. So yes, live below your means. I don't understand this rhetoric. Why are we in this? Whatever. You know, let me stop. Getting frustrated. Let's see.
Also, if you don't have the financial education, when somebody says your house is an asset or these mutual funds are good or the stock will go up, and you don't know the difference between a good investment and a bad investment, because real estate can be a bad investment, stocks can be a bad investment. If you don't know good investment advice from bad investment advice, then you're going to get taken. This world is not kind, should we say.
The hardest thing that I've witnessed over the last year is seeing people that were very hardworking and very conservative that invested in the stocks. And I'm not talking about high-flying stocks. I'm talking about very solid companies. And their net worth is 50% of what it was a year ago, and they haven't done anything wrong. Now, they put their money in stocks, so I guess you could say that's wrong, but it's really not wrong because historically that's been okay. So they went into conservative stocks, and a year later
people invest and lose money.
And all they've done is worked. And that's the hardest thing I've seen.
It's tragedy. The thing that I want to say is this: you can invest in gold and lose money.
Oh, yes, true.
Invest in real estate and lose money. You can lose stocks and lose money. You can invest in...
So then why are you saying live above your means if you know that you can still work very hard and lose your money? Like, there's no logic to this. Where is the room? You need some headroom. You can spend, but leave some headroom just in case. So if you spend above your means and then lose money, you're in trouble. Oh my goodness. Am I losing the plot here? Like, can you guys in the comment, like, you know, let me know. Should you live above your means or live below your means? This is just generic things. Like, why are we discussing this?
Okay. You can also make a lot of money in all those things. So really the reason we get together is because your financial intelligence, your financial IQ makes something valuable or not valuable. Like I said, you have to know a good investment from a bad investment. Good advice from bad investment.
Oh my gosh, I've just lost a few brain cells in there. This is very good high-level conversations for people who've made a lot of money. And unless you understand the nitty-gritty educational details, it will go past your head because there's a lot than just what they're saying. So I'm just saying, save your money. Don't overspend and just be smart about it. My goodness, I don't know. Yeah, guys, can you comment? I want to, you know, hear what you guys have to say. Do you think it's smart to spend above your means? Let me see. What else can I have a look at? Ooh, I used to watch this guy. What's his name? It's a financial guy. What is it called? Oh, there we go. It's not him, but your next 15 moves. That's way too long to watch. What else can we put on? It's not John Deloney. Dave Ramsey. There we go. The Dave Ramsey Show. Let us see. There is a full episodes on the highlight channel. The highlights channel has a lot of videos. I wonder if I'm gonna get some copyright strikes on this, so please be nice to me. The Dave Ramsey Show highlights channel. So let me see. Okay, I lost 80,000 in investing. How do I tackle this debt? Okay, buy a house right now, stock market, tax season, enjoying the retirement. Okay, the best way to pay off debt. Secret bank account. Should women have this? Whoop, this is an interesting one. Let's see.
So one thing, Jade, I feel like we both enjoy good social media, and and now that it's everywhere all the time, there's a lot of people giving financial advice out there, and so we always have a good chuckle.
It's like I love it and I hate it at the same time.
Like, you were saying earlier, like, Rachel, I keep seeing this thing, so I was like, well, let's talk about it, Jade.
Okay, so I mean, we're in the finance space, so you know the people that you follow tend to be in your same world, even if you don't have the exact same views. It's like, okay, like I follow other money people, and
so just to say it again, this video is: should women have a secret bank account? Women, men. I'm guessing when they say should women, I'm guessing they're talking about in a dating, relationship, marriage mindset. Not just like, you know, women can't use money or spend money, so they should. No, I'm guessing it's more control element, but let's see where this goes.
I gotta tell you, Rachel, there's somebody that I follow, and it's just so frustrating to me because a lot of her posts are about women having their own finances separate from their men, but it's in a way that's a little bit secretive, right? And okay, don't get me wrong, if you're not married and you're just living together or it's your boyfriend, yes, keep your money separate. But if you're married, I believe that you should work together with your finances. You should combine things. And I know that this person's point of view, like, I know like their background, they were hurt in a relationship and all this, but I just feel like the advice is not where it needs to be.
What do you guys think? Do you think women should keep a secret, separate account in a situation such as marriage? Do you think, forget women, this is too sexist. Do you think people in general, men or women, should keep separate accounts in a relationship, in a marriage? Dating, keep it separate. Living together, still keep it separate, because unless you're a man and wife, it's dangerous. It's dangerous because when you break up now, whose money is that? There is no legal precedence for that money. There's nothing legally put on paper. Unless, you know, you sign up for a partnership legally, or a civil partnership. But yeah, I don't know. I am for the idea that women and men and people in general should not keep, I guess, secret accounts, and money should be transparent. Money is one of the major reasons for fights, divorces, breakdowns. So if in doubt, share it out. It's my logic. Because if you've chosen to give somebody your life, my goodness, can't you give them your money too?
And I, as a married person, you know, keeping money aside, secretive, for me, that's That's towing the line there, you know? That's keeping secrets and like keeping all of your assets in your name. I mean, what's the message that that's sending?
Yeah. The message that it's sending is that level of autonomy and control. I will play devil's advocate. Some people struggle with having limited control after spending such a long time being able to have that control of, this is my money, I've made it, so I can spend it how I want. And actually, if I get money from here, from there, why do I have to tell you, because you might have different views compared to what I have? I still believe this. If you've chosen to give your life to somebody and share your life together, you have kind of removed that choice from yourself to have that autonomy with finances and with most things. Actually, you've chosen to say everything, thick or thin, rich, poor, whatever. So in that instance, forget how you feel. Your feelings don't matter in this instance. Autonomy is something that sadly has to be left on the side when it comes to unity. So
the message is, I don't trust you. I don't see a for sure future here, so I'm just going to keep mine over here in my pocket and my account, and you don't touch it. Is that really the footing that you want your relationship to be on? I mean,
and what I think a lot of these people, I think you may have said this earlier, you know, that it's a lot of fear.
Yeah.
It's living in a lot of fear. Yeah. And again, are there situations that you want to be smart, right? If there's, you know, we talked to someone that came out of a domestic abuse situation, right? If there's something like that going on or an addiction, I mean, there are these points that, okay, I'm going to be smart. But overall, you guys, for majority of couples, working together, it's amazing the level of communication that's created.
Yes.
The level of trust.
Okay, she brings a good point in terms of, you know, what if you share the money with somebody who's an addict or somebody who's misusing the money, or another case, what if you share the account with somebody who's an abuser who controls all the money in a negative light and doesn't give you that, even the ability to have a say? Then I would say do things differently then. But in most cases, I would say you can have separate bank accounts if you want. Ideally, have a joint one, but you can have separate ones. The main issue is about secrecy. If money is in accounts, it should be known. Simple as that. So tell your spouses. Tell them, I have this money in this account. They should know. Make it black and white.
That happens, and just the oneness of marriage that you're experiencing even with your money.
And the facts tell us that. I mean, there's studies that say couples who communicate openly about money tend to feel that they're on the same team. It says, quote, feeling like you're on a team together with your partner promotes relationship satisfaction. And so I do think that there's a way as a woman, because we're all talking about.
So here's a question. I'll end it here. There's a bit more to go. What's more important? Relationship satisfaction or keeping the union of the marriage, or feeling that you have autonomy of yourself? They're all important, but I guess some of them have to come first. Then I would say prioritizing the relationship comes, I guess, far above some autonomy, especially when it's not an abusive situation, or if it's not like a bad situation. Some people, yes, have trust issues. Some people have trauma issues in the past, but generally I would say it's best to err on the side of, you know what, let's keep nothing secret and being transparent. I think I will leave it here. So before I go, I will stay for a minute or two. Any questions, put them in the chat. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm here. What time is it? It's past 9. So yeah, any comments? I know Ryan left a few messages. Big up the chat and said Matrix. You're still watching, Ryan. Thank you. Appreciate it. You've been watching for a long time, for years. One of the OGs. Thank you very much for that. Any more comments? I'm waiting for them. Let me see. Okay. In fact, what am I going to... Is this Social Blade? What did I type in? Whilst we're here, it would be good to see in terms of what my channel is doing. SolidMind. There I am. Scoo. Yeah, yes. So, I think after every live stream, I will show my Social Blade as a recording. Today is what day? January 16th, 9:21 in the UK in an undisclosed location. Let me see. I got 1,000 plus subscribers. I've been here on YouTube for how long? 5 years. That's a lie. I've been on YouTube for about 7 years technically. I've got a few more other channels. I might spend some time maybe in the different live stream reacting to some old videos that are unlisted. I have hundreds of videos. Trial and error. Right now I am ranked in the top 700,000 which is not the best. Social Blade subscriber rank, I'm in the 14,000, which is, I guess, surprising. Video rank, nothing. Country rank, I'm doing pretty well. Where am I ranked in the UK right now? Okay, I need to go to like very far back. So I'm ranked at this number, which is good. So yeah, next time when I come back, we'll see if these views have changed in the tech space. I'm ranked pretty highly in my opinion. Let me check how much I'm making on average. Well, I know how much I make from YouTube, but let's just see if this is right. Making between 30p to £5 a month. That's not true. I make a little bit more than that. I barely get views in my channel, but I'm consistently making more than this. More than £5, I would say that. Let me see videos. Okay. Views in the last 30 days, 1.1. Okay, that's not bad. You know what? My views have really done well. I used to get like 1 or 2 views a day, as you can see here. There were some days where like it looked terrible. From last year. Then it shot up a little bit, down again, shot up again, and then it went down gradually. And I think so far I've been pretty consistent in views, getting over 2,000 views a month, 3,000 views a month easily. I'm going down now a little bit to around 1,000 views a month, 1.8 thousand views a month, which isn't the best. And I think the content has reduced a little bit, but the only way is up. Can I see the full stats whilst I'm here? Let me see. Subscribers haven't changed, but the views are consistent between 50 and 100 views a day. Making between a penny and 20p a day. It's not a lot of money, but it adds up, I'm telling you that. But yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll try and do another live next time, and I'll make it known this time. But yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. And yeah, look at this. This looks good so far in terms of views and subscribers. I did well actually in this space. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, peace. Let me see. Still alive? Stop streaming.